Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions. And you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Beauty in Black. This is season 1B, episode 12. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video and also subscribe to my channel. You can leave your comments. Now let's get into this episode. Okay. So next thing you know, it's nighttime. Kimmy got her hoodie on, and she goes to Delinda's house looking for clues. The two cops show up over there. They're just giving a commentary as to what is going on and all that good stuff. And I think Kimmy ended up finding a way to get out, or they finally left and she left. Horace talks with Angel a little bit more. It's nighttime. And he's asking Angel, why, tell me why I should let you live. And he said, look, I'm still a good guy and all that. And Horace says, you tried to rob me. But we didn't. That wasn't even my guys. My dudes didn't even show up. So all that time, that wasn't even the whole situation with Kimmy. That was the whole thing with Olivia. So Horace then took out Olivia's people. And I think he even said, I know he wasn't. They weren't yours. So obviously he knew about what Olivia was going through. But I don't know why he hasn't put her on blast as of yet. That's interesting to me. What do you guys think? So at this point, you've said all the things that you said about Kimmy, that she's trustworthy and all that. Will Brain say the same thing? And then Angel was like, no. And he said, why not? Because she's a ride or die. Basically. So, she's not going to say anything. So trying to get something out of her is not going to happen. It's not that she's going to lie or anything. So next thing you know, Horace says, such a pretty face that I have to K-I-L-L. And he said, I really wish I didn't have such a mad crush on you. I said, Lord Jesus. So then Horace leaves Angel there, and then Angel takes off in handcuffs. Varney and Charles. Charles goes over to Varney's again. He says, what happened when I was at the office today? Roy accused me of effing Mallory. And he plans on telling your dad that. And he's like, so? Are you effing Mallory? And he said, what are you talking about? Like, that I am with you. So what are you talking about? And you know what I got going on? And then Charles was like, I don't believe that you are not effing her. And he believes that Varney will do anything to get ahead. And then Varney was like, I can't believe you're saying all of this. I have not done anything to you. And then Charles said, is that all because, look, right now I'm effing somebody else. Unless you want to watch or you want to hear what's going on. And Varney says, I'm not leaving. Until you understand where I'm coming from and I'm not trying to do all this extra stuff, blah, 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 blah. And Varney says, well, I warned you. Then he goes into the other room and then starts clapping cheeks really hard. I thought for a second that there wasn't anybody, but later on in the episode, you do know that there's somebody there. And Varney stays there for the whole thing. Varney, you a stupid fool. Leave that man, because he don't care about you. I know you in love, but you still want the BDL, so what is he going to do with that? Let's see. Kimmy. Now, Kimmy goes back to the motel. She gets into the room. She gets some stuff, and then Angel busts in. And she's like, what are you doing here? He's like, take off these cups. I have the keys are in my bag. So are cups like one size fits all, like one key fits all? Because didn't those cops give you those handcuffs? That's a little bit weird. But anyways, the keys did unlock the cuffs. Jules comes knocking, and Kimmy goes hide. Jules comes in. Of course, Angel's trying to play it all nice and all that, and he says, where's Kimmy at? Kimmy is at. And he said that he don't know. And why are you here? Isn't this Kimmy's house or place? And he said, yeah, I'm crashing here. You know that she off two people? He's like, no, I didn't know any of that. What is happening? Then he ends up hitting him in the throat, basically not believing that Angel doesn't know anything about Kimmy's whereabouts. Then he asks, why did that old man want to see you? And then he admits, I stole his watch. And then he said, where? I was at the Stanley Hospital. Oh, well, that's quite a fancy place to be in. He said, well, I was looking for a little come up. And I took it. He said he was on the elevator. He didn't really see me go at him, and I just took it. Then he was like, hey, I got to shower and got to make some money. But before Jules leaves, he shoots in the bed because he's thinking that Kimmy is hiding underneath there. So he shoots the bed. Of course, nothing happened. And we thought, because Angel gave the direction for Kimmy to go underneath the bed. So, what happened? Oh, okay. So then Jules finally leaves, and we find out that Kimmy was in the little closet door area that I was really surprised that Jules didn't look into, and they were surprised too. So anyways, Kimmy calls Rain and says, look, I done pushed Roy outside of the window. Then Rain was like, I'm getting out of the hospital. And Kimmy's like, no, don't do that, So, next thing you know, at the hospital, Horace has come into Rain's room. And Kimmy said, that's that old guy that I've been messing with. Kimmy told Rain to keep her on the phone, and she did. He starts asking about Kimmy. Tell me everything that you know about her. And then the girl was like, I ain't telling you nothing. He does say that, he was the one that put her up in this hotel and moved her, in the hospital. And she said, thank you and all that good stuff, but I still don't know you like that. So after many minutes of trying to get her to say something, he says, well, pain has a way of changing people's minds. So, he walks with that cane. He ends up using the back of the cane and starts pressing into that BBL to get her to crack. And at this point, Kimmy hangs up after hearing all of that, and she's like, look, I gotta go. So she leaves right out the room, and then a guard comes out, one of the cops, and they grab her. I said, Kimmy. All right, so the cop puts Kimmy in the car, and he calls Jules. And he says, I got her. And Jules says, I'm going to talk to her. So she's handed the phone, and she says, what? And then Jules was like, who do you think you're talking to? I'm talking to you. Where's my sister at? What do you mean about your sister? Don't play with me, Jules. Where is my sister? Long story short, he said, look, you done did something. You done off my itches, Bonnie and Delinda. You're going to have to pay for this. Then he said, well, maybe your sister can pay what you are owed to me. So Julius is sitting up here yelling, trying to get Kimmy in check. And then his wife from upstairs is like, well, who are you yelling at? What's going on? He said, everything's fine, baby. And then she said, I'm trying to get ready for this event. Come on up. He said, okay. So at this point, he changes his tone on the phone and gets off the phone at this point. All right, so Mallory calls Charles, and she says, or did Charles? Who said it? No, Charles calls Mallory, and Charles wants to meet Mallory for drinks. It looks like the only person that Mallory really effed with is Charles. I think that's kind of his outlet. He knows that Charles don't, or she knows that she doesn't. Mallory knows that Charles doesn't really give an F about this company. He just wants to do what he do. So anyways, he finally convinces Mallory to meet him for drinks. And they go out. They meet at Stein and Stag. She tells Jillian before they get there, to set up that I'm going to be at Stein and Stag, and to get my things and a change of clothes. And then all of a sudden, Jillian wants to taunt Calvin, saying, you must have pissed her off because she's meeting someone else, And she laughs and stuff. I'm like, what in the world? Jillian is kind of a character that's not really needed, to be honest. But she could really stir up some ish since she is behind the scenes. Jules, he goes back to the strip club. And the stripper dude who was following the other guy that stole Charles's car, he was following him all the way out to the estate. So he saw the fire and all that, and he ended up just running away. And Angel was like, what? I think I said Jules, but I meant Angel. You mean you left him alone like that? He's like, I didn't know how serious it was, and I wasn't going to get caught up. But he says, I know where he lives, and we can still rob him, Angel. Angel's kind of disgusted, but also, look, he's still looking for a come-up. So I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully they don't go out to the house. So Charles is getting ready to go. Barney's still there, and he said, I hope you like the show. Barney was like, I don't want to do this. And he said, do what? Do this like this, no more. Because he's like, you don't want us to be together? Da, 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 da. And he's like, I don't want that. I want us to be together. Then he said, well, are you going to tell my parents? And he said, I will tell your parents right now. And then Barney said, are you ready to commit? And that's when things start getting a little shaky. After you already said that he needed to tell the parents. And sometimes you are the worst man. And he says, all I try to do is love you. And then Charles says, all you want to do is try to possess me. Basically, Charles is this wild child right now, and he's for the streets. And a DL man, which is wild in itself, is trying to get a wild gay man to commit. That's kind of opposite, really, what usually happens between a DL and a outwardly gay person. But whatever, he's still young and still wants to have fun. So anyways, at this point, Barney's pissed off and he finally leaves. Charles goes to Stagenstein. Calvin and Jillian are there in the back because he needs to know what's going on with her. Mallory asked, Roy told you about Barney? And Charles said yes. And then Mallory's like, well, Roy loves chaos. Sure. And Barney is a professional. I guess, but... And then he was like, I hope Roy's not telling your father about the BS. Barney's asking questions like, so was something going on between you guys? Like, no, blah, 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 blah. Mallory's like, well, you're quite fired up about this. And he was like, look, I just don't want people around my family doing this and that, da, 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 da. So Mallory's about to leave because there's not really that much fruition. And Mallory doesn't feel comfortable here anyways because she's more bougie. And as she's about to leave, she said, you really got fired up about the whole situation. No, I just really care about my sister-in-law and all that, da, 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 da. So you can tell, again, as I was saying before, that Charles and Mallory have a good relationship, and probably the only good relationship Mallory has within the Bellamy family. So then Kimmy and the cop are driving, and he's taking her to Jules. And he says, do you know where my sister is? Da, 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 da. Short end to a longer story, Kimmy gets a control of the car wheel and makes the car have an accident. I don't know what happens. I don't know who got hurt or whatnot, but Kimmy is wild and she'll do anything for her sister. That's all I can say. That's the end of that episode, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Oh, I'm having a time. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry, and to all the actors that are giving us much entertainment. Again, you can like this video, please, and subscribe. Leave your comments below. And until the next one, peace.